The following program is a paid presentation for American Medicine Today and the Bonati Spine Institute. The information and opinions expressed are solely those of American Medicine Today and are not the opinions of the station, its affiliates, management, or employees.
Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, the world leader in advanced spine surgery, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD.
Hi, I'm your host Kimberly Bramell, and welcome to American Medicine Today, brought to you by the Bonati Spine Institute. Every week, we inform you about breakthroughs in medicine, highlight the work of Dr. Alfred Bonati and the Bonati Spine Institute, share some of our patients' miraculous recovery stories, and discuss what we feel is the crisis in American medicine today, also known as Obamacare. Today we'll speak with Dr. Jason Steibeck, an internal medicine physician in Apollo Beach that is treating patients with mild to severe depression without drugs, and this revolutionary treatment is even helping migraine sufferers at the same time. We'll also hear from Congressional Medal of Honor recipient Gary Luttrell about his amazing recovery and some of our medical staff that truly cares for these patients and helping them get back to enjoying life in our Back to Life segment. And finally, we'll hear from Dr. Bonati about the growing concern and problems that have recently been highlighted with the veterans' care and what Dr. Bonati is doing to try and assist in their recovery. American Medicine Today reaches out to scientists, specialists, and experts in their medical field to discuss topics that impact you and your medical well-being. This week, I visited Dr. Jason Steibeck, an internal medicine physician that is treating depression patients with transcranial magnetic stimulation therapy. 19 million Americans suffer from depression, and physicians nationwide are now convinced that TMS in some cases is saving lives in patients who had given up all hope. I'm here with Dr. Jason Steibeck, and we're going to be speaking about TMS therapy. So, Doctor, why don't you tell everyone what TMS stands for?
TMS stands for transmagnetic cranial stimulation. So we're using magnetic pulses to treat depression. This machine is made by NeuroStar. Just as you would go into an MRI machine and have your shoulder done or your head scanned, it uses the magnetic technology to provide the treatment to the frontal portion of the brain. This is the part of the machine that we place on the frontal part of the person's head to provide magnetic pulses to the frontal part of the brain. This is the computer that we use to determine the correct settings in the patients and how much power that they are able to tolerate with the magnetic pulses.
Now, how much of the population suffers from depression?
Depression is one of those hidden beasts out in the community. I think everybody has family members that have suffered from depression. Everybody has somebody that in their family that they wish they could fix, or at least make them feel like they feel. So in our practice, we treat depression on a daily basis, if not 2 or 3 patients a day.
Now, with this particular therapy, what are the advantages, say, as opposed to something like electroshock therapy?
Electroshock treatment, it has been considered the gold standard of treatment in psychiatry to treat depression for the severely depressed patient. But now we have something that is treating depression in the 21st century. It's treating depression without giving somebody a global seizure to their brain to try to fix them. The benefit of ours over ECT treatment is we do not need anesthesia. We do not put people to sleep for this procedure. We do not create a seizure in the brain to depolarize the brain to treat the depression. In their depression, we're using very controlled magnetic pulses to a portion of the brain where the depression center is. People are able to come into the office. They do not have any IVs. They have no medicines that they have to take. They sit in our chair for 37 minutes, and then they go back to their job or they go home and take care of their kids.
Now, how successful is this procedure?
In the NeuroStar studies, their success rate is phenomenal. Their remission rate is phenomenal. Most people that have been treated with 4 medicines, if you add another antidepressant medication to their treatment, there is about a 7% chance of remission with that medication. with using this device, there's a 37% chance of remission.
Substantial.
Substantial, no depression. How many people does it make feel better? In the studies, at least 67% after the 6 weeks. And in the study, they said, well, let's take it a little further and maybe let's treat patients for 2 months, and 85% felt better.
7 months ago, I was so depressed that I wasn't able to function. I couldn't work, I couldn't drive, I could barely watch television. After the 6 weeks of NeuroStar TMS therapy, I was back to work. I was feeling great. I was enjoying my kids again, and I had my life back.
I didn't notice the signs of improvement for a few weeks into the process. My family noticed it that first week. They said that I was sitting up straighter, that I was more engaged.
The amount of progress that I made in the 6 weeks of TMS treatment was just phenomenal. I felt better than I have in years, and I went from I was taking 6 medications. Then when I finished TMS, I have one simple antidepressant, and I'm feeling great.
That's when it came together, when I was able to see where I had been, where the treatment itself was working enough that the fog that the depression puts over your self-perception was lifted. And I felt hope.
Is it only useful for depression, or have you found other benefits of this procedure?
Some patients that have depression, they also have headaches. 3 of my patients that after the first week or even after the first treatment, they don't have headaches for the whole time we're treating them for the 4 or 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And when they come back into the office and I ask them how their headaches are doing, they say, the headaches are gone. It's even safe if you're pregnant. Postpartum depression, it's been studied for that as well. So there's no medicines that go in the body. There's no systemic side effects to this treatment.
Have you yourself tried this procedure?
Everybody in our office has done this procedure on ourselves, especially in training. It's extremely safe, it's easily tolerated. I would put my wife, my parents in this chair and offer them as hope to treat their depression if they had it.
How does one start the process if they are feeling depressed and they come in? What is that initial process like?
If you've tried one antidepressant and you're depressed, to me you're the right fit. If you're majorly depressed, we can probably fix you. If you're minorly depressed, we can probably make your depression go away.
We'll be right back to speak with Medal of Honor recipient Gary Luttrell about his remarkable recovery in our Back to Life segment.